Hey guys, so on a Saturday we'll swing out of the kitchen for just a bit because it's carnival time in Sweet TNT, and in and around Carnival, Bacchanal is very, very evident and always making itself present. If you don't know what Bacchanal is, check out the Trinidad Dictionary and you will make sure you understand what it is. But controversy always tends to be something that we deal with here in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes around the carnival time, and this year is no different. I have with me two of the finest journalists in and around the TNT that covers the carnival scene. Closest to me, Luke TT, Regional Director.
Lifestyle and culture.
You say you want to make us sound bigger than she Well, well-respected journalist here for many, many a year in Trinidad and Tobago and around the region now, doing stuff on Loop TT and around the region in Loop. Laura Dowrich, Phillip. Next to her is Sterling Henderson. His voice can be heard on I-95.5, and he's been in radio, Sterling, for how long now? As long as
18 years.
We started almost around the same time.
2001, 2000.
Yeah, 2000. Remember those days, man?
I do. I do. I'm not very far from them in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Listen, I used to do the deep voice test. I was just Sterling Henderson. We
used to play Juve together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we going back.
No. But then Mirella was like, yeah, you know. My husband. So
can we get to matters of state, please? So guys, we starting off on a note that hit the headlines a couple of weeks ago here in TNT. The Trial Express ran a story. Most of us obviously it went viral. He's a former minister,
sitting MP.
He is Fuad Khan, and he is very much involved in Carnival.
Yes.
He is. So I just try to put it in context in terms of who he is.
He brings a mass band he does a fete as well. And he has for years.
Yes.
Of course, he commented last year in Carnival as well.
Right.
Yes.
He made a statement that touched a few nerves. And we've had here in TNT some domestic violence issues at the start of the new year. And the former minister, sitting MP, basically suggested very, very strongly that soca music is responsible, or mainly responsible, for the turn of what we're seeing in domestic violence here on the island. That, of course, caused a bit of a hoorah. And I suppose the debate is, when you listen to the lyrics, and I'm just trying to be as journalistic as I can here and see down the middle, because I would have my bias, of course. Mm-hmm. But when you listen to some of the lyrics of the music, not this year, but even going back, does Mr. Khan have some sort of case?
No, he doesn't. I think his comments were ridiculous and ludicrous, and it's an insult to the majority of soca artists who work really hard to put out their product. And there's an overwhelming amount of positive soca about uplifting Trinidad, about celebrating who we are as Trinidadians, about celebrating the culture, about pushing soca music. There's a whole movement to try to push soca music internationally. A majority of people are not singing songs to put down women, because you can't go internationally with that kind of music. People are singing overwhelmingly positive songs. These artists putting hours in studio. I found it to generalize it like that and put soca in that category is ridiculous.
It would have hurt many a soca artist.
It did. It hurt a lot of people.
It would have hurt many a soca artist when they would have seen that headline on Sunday morning.
I mean, I want to guard or, take caution on the side of objectivity.
Yes.
I think Dr. Khan, not that he's right, but that may be the question. Does he have the right, or is he right? When we look at soca and we hear songs like, is that your wallet, fall on the floor, bend over, pick it up. What is that? Girl, bend over, drop to the ground. You know how to do your thing. Is that misogyny? Is that soca? What is that? Is that alpha male? Is that degrading to women? And I think that's the broader point he wanted to make. Of course, it coming against the backdrop of 3 fatal domestic violence situations. And if you even want to contextualize it in this carnival, when Trinidad Goes says, I see my neighbor beating the girl, I ain't see. It's obvious that there is some responsibility, if not a causal responsibility, but at least responsive responsibility to sort of frame women differently in soca, perhaps.
Or as a female, I think you just really, yeah.
But I'm thinking, if we're going to talk about the social commentary, isn't the purpose of Calypso and soca to comment on societal issues and things that is a narrative about us? So ultimately, I don't see the music as the problem. We are the problem.
But the lyrics that Sterling alluded to.
Yeah, but if we talk about social, about bend over, pick it up, that is the way we dance. I am not, as a woman, I'm not offended by this.
You've bent over.
I mean, come on. I ain't trying to be a hypocrite.
I just want, based on what Sterling said there, I hear you. And a lot of it too, Sterling, is how we speak, is how we are. But I want to respond.
Just one question for me. Laura, do you think soca frames women positively?
Yeah, and do you feel offended? When you hear...
Not do you feel offended, but do you think it's offensive? Whether or not you take personal offense or not.
Generally, I'm not generalizing, no, but there have been specific songs that I found offensive. For instance,
the line was crossed.
Kicking Your Back Door. What the hell was that? I hated that song. It was ludicrous. I thought it should have never been played, ever. Because to me, that is, you were telling people, just rape her in a lane. So to me, that there are songs that just cross the line. But generally, I am not offended by soca.
And then another woman, I'm just saying, would have no problem with that song. Well,
exactly, because it was played in feds and people had no problem with it.
And there will be another woman that would have no. So Laura, that crossed the line for Laura.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lady X, Lady Y might find that totally fine. No offense taken whatsoever. I just want to. To the ladies, I just want to go over to the gentlemen. So is it that the possibility exists that because of the lyrics, when men tune into the lyrics and start singing the lyrics and start understanding the song and feeling the song, it then plays,
Well, music is influential.
I tell her bend over.
And I
pick it up.
Not just that, but the patriarchal position that as the man, I instruct the woman.
Yes.
As the man, I am in control of the woman.
Right.
That is not, there is a continuum of how far some men will take that.
Yeah. So that's
you have to guard against it.
Can I just say, I have friends who've been abused.
Yeah.
And I will not attribute soca to the abuse they went through. A lot of men who abuse women, it's a script that they follow from beginning to end. It's all about power and having control over somebody. It is a systematic stripping of somebody's self-esteem. Soca music is not doing that.
Contributing in any way?
No, it is not. This is a power thing. And some of the guys I know who've perpetrated this came from abusive households. Soca music is not responsible for that. It's something they grew up seeing and they continued it. So to say that none of my friends who I know have been abused and continue to be abused, I will not attribute soca music to their abuse.
I am not attributing soca music to abuse.
But that's what Fuad Khan was doing.
Yes.
And I cannot support that because I've seen abuse, I've seen it work from beginning to end, and I cannot attribute soca music to that. It's the way society is. It's the way, as you say, patriarchal. It's the way society all over the world has told us women are weak, men are strong, men not supposed to be emotional. I have 3 boys. I was shocked that how emotional they are as males, because growing up, that is not something that we portrayed in mass media, that men are emotional and have needs and should talk and they cry. I was shocked how emotional my sons are, and boys are emotional. But what do we tell guys? What do we tell boys? Don't cry. Man up. We call them all sorts of names. That is the problem. And what do we have to treat with that?
Well, I mean, on the other side, we have how we condition girls. And just as when we had a situation in the black community where they thought it not good to give them white dolls because they're not seeing themselves, because their self-image begins from then. Imagine young girls listening to instructive soca where men have the dominant voice, talking to women in a particular way, them growing up thinking, well, this is the relationship that I have with men. And then they feed into the abuse cycle.
But that's not soca alone. And we hear soca for 2 months continually. For the rest of the year, we listen to hip hop. We listen to R&B. We listen to pop.
I think it's more significant because it's our voice. To me, you know. And I want to say against the backdrop of songs like Feel the Love from Private Ryan and Freetown Collective or Hallelujah by Olatunji. These are songs that make you feel Kerwin and Adana. Not today, let's do it today, not tomorrow. Yeah. These are songs that make you feel good. Mm-hmm. Agreed? Mm-hmm. But can we agree that all of soca makes us feel good?
But does it make you feel to go out and beat somebody?
And only that.
Well, don't you already have to be conditioned for that to happen? You already have to be that way. I grew up listening to gangster rap. I never feel to go out and kill somebody. Yeah. That has to be somewhere already embedded in your soul, in your psyche.
Yeah. I think you have a point there.
Yeah, no. And just as what you said, so soca is feel-good music, soca is
happy
music is happy music. There's 3 songs or 4 songs or 5 songs paint an entire brush of degrading women and negativity across 100 songs that we could probably pull out of the inners and say, hey, look at what soca has brought to music. Mm-hmm. Can we do that? And anyone reading that who would have never heard about soca music, and I think Laura made a very passionate play at the top where a soca artist picking up and reading that front page would say, but I am trying to take our music to the widest possible places, mm-hmm. and somebody reading it and say, well, no, I don't want this music in Taiwan.
I don't know how much time you have, but some of the music that is at the top of the world right now is themed along those things, yeah? The negatives. Yeah, and I don't know, just based on what you last said, that the future of soca is determined by whether or not its lyrics are child-friendly or whatever the case may be. I think it has to do more with how we treat it, how we as a public treat it. And as Dr. Fuad Khan is evident, not everyone understands it, So you have to ask yourself, if a Trinidadian involved in Carnival can misunderstand it to that point, is he representative of a problem locally that we have to overcome to sell soca to the rest of the world? And maybe string into some other area here. But my point, I think, is that violence and, daga, dancehall, dancehall is not...
It's not roses.
No, and it's, hip-hop.
And a Jamaican, I lived 2 years in Jamaica, and a Jamaican leader will never, ever, I could put my head on a block, I think, will never, ever ill-speak dancehall, reggae, dub, will never, ever do that. So my final question as we wrap this, because I think we've given it enough.
Way too much.
Yeah, way too much. but I'm just wondering, so I think you made a good case, and there are instances where, hey, when Laura said, oh, no, that song a little too much. In saying that, and there's a bigger picture and a broader picture, was Dr. Khan probably a little irresponsible in painting that broad brush across our music?
I think he was, because he backtracked in I think in the papers today, he said, well, he was really referring to all the local music across the board. But that's not what you said in your video, though.
Yeah.
I think he was. I think he probably didn't expect the backlash.
Think he didn't expect the backlash?
I think he didn't expect the backlash.
So then, quickly, wrap on this for me.
God will judge you by your intentions. And I don't know what the good doctor's intentions were, but I think his statement was misdirected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. As I said, it touched some nerves here in TNT, and I think all that soca has done and continue to do as it broadens its horizons across the world. It is not, I think we can all say that very, very clearly and without any prejudice, it is not degrading music and encouraging domestic violence. Can we say that?
No. There is, yes, as Mr. Killer said, bring the evidence.
Bring the evidence, show the studies.
Yeah. Can we come back? I just want to come back and deal with dance hall in the carnival. We're coming back. Carnival Chat on a couple of Joe. We're taking a little time to just delve into some of the talking points here in TNT Carnival 2020.